One of the saddest things in life is not when something or someone else destroys us, but when we destroy ourselves, when we self-destruct. One of the fastest ways to self-destruct is to live in a constant state of worry, a constant state of anxiety or fear or panic. And we truly weren't designed to live that way. This is kind of stuff that has happened to us, or we've kind of self-induced in a way, but we were not designed to live like this. And I know this is a really touchy subject, especially for our generation, Gen Z and millennials, but I figure even the younger generation and even older generations can relate to this. Maybe they've experienced this as well. But God did not call us to be worriers. He called us to be warriors. Whether you're a believer or not, he called us to be warriors, here and here. He didn't design us to live in constant fear and worry. A verse that stuck with me, and don't quote me on this because I don't remember the exact verse, but Jesus said, we should not worry about tomorrow because tomorrow has enough troubles and worries of its own. We should live in the now. And I get it. We live in a society where we're constantly worried about the next day and the next day and a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. And there's nothing wrong with trying to plan your future as accurately as possible, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's completely understandable, and that's true. But when it gets to the point where you're living in constant fear of the next day, of the unknown, of what's going to happen next, that's a hindrance to your life, and it comes from a sense of control. We try to control everything in our lives, and we just don't have that control. I'm learning that. I'm still learning that now. And that's why I'm here today, to try and see if I can help anyone out with this video. Life is all about the unknown at the end of the day. There is no guarantee. But at the same time, we can't be living in a constant state of anxiety, a constant state of worry. We miss out on so many blessings like that, so many opportunities, because we're worried about what this person might think or this person might think. And it's crippling to us. It destroys your self-esteem. It destroys your confidence. It makes you overthink everything. It makes you not go into anything really giving it your best because you're not sure how it's going to happen, how it's going to work. One of the best ways you can combat that is to just have faith. And I know it's cliche, just have faith, but to truly just let it go and just give it to God and have faith, because he loves you. He didn't create you to be in a constant state of fear, a constant state of worry. And that's something that I had to try and learn to overcome, and I'm still learning to overcome it. It's not as bad as as a lot of other people. Maybe they might have anxiety or whatever the case may be, but I had a time period where I was really overthinking a lot of things. I overthought a lot, and then I just learned over the years that I don't have control. There are things I can do. I can only control what I can control, and that really helped massively. And I hope that can help someone who's watching this video. Control the things you can control. I think it's accepted in society. It's normal for everyone to constantly be worried, for everyone to have anxiety, and we just look at it as, that's the norm, that's how it's supposed to be. But that's not the truth. It's not supposed to be like that. Another verse that I always try and reflect back on if I feel like I'm anxious about something is that God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of self-control. That's 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, if I'm not mistaken. That first part speaks to me though. He did not give us a spirit of fear. That is something we kind of just learn to create on our own. We create our own fears for some reason. We create our own limitations. It's all here. We have to get out our heads. One quick way you can do that is to just live in the moment. The way to live in the moment is to control what you can control. You can't always control what this person is going to do or what that person is going to do or what even tomorrow will be like, but you can show up today and do what you're supposed to do and let the rest play out however it does. It's not okay to just live in a constant state of worry. You're killing yourself. You're aging yourself faster than you need to. You're pulling down your confidence. You're destroying your self-esteem. You're hurting your identity. You're hurting your self-worth. There is no benefit to having constant fear, constant worry. And I get it, we're humans. We're always going to have, some baseline level of fear, of anxiety, of worry. That's never going to go away. That's just innate in us. We're humans. I understand that. But when that anxiety, that worry, that fear starts to affect you negatively day to day in school, in the workplace, in your personal life, in your relationship, in whatever, that's when it becomes an issue. That's when it's time to take control, to fight back. You are not helpless. You can talk about it to someone. You can read your Bible, even if you're not, religious. If you're not religious, the best thing you can do is to live in the present, and you do that by controlling what you can control. If you are religious, if you are a believer, you can pick up your Bible, you can read, you can find verses that specifically help you combat fear, combat worry. Stop trying to control everything. That is another thing that leads to constant fear and worry, because you're so worried about the outcome. Trust me when I tell you, I'm learning outcome independence so much. Like, he's teaching me this lesson the hard way because he wants me to learn it. I've always tried to rely on controlling, the outcome, but this year specifically has taught me nothing is in my control except the things that I can control. And I urge you to truly, truly just try the same thing. Let go of always trying to have a certain outcome. Just let it play out the way it does. Do your part. Yes, I'm not saying don't do your part. Do your part, and then wherever the chips may fall, that's where they fall. But you are a warrior. You are unique. You were not put here to worry yourself to death. No matter what society says is fine or is normal, or everyone is like, no, you don't have to live like that. I know you're here because you want to be different. We all want to be better. There's nothing wrong with that. Reject that societal script of anxiety, of fear, of worry is normal. Yes, a certain amount is normal. That's fine. But I'm talking about when it starts to impact your life negatively all the time. No, that's not normal. God did not want you to live like that. Have faith in him. 1, 2, control what you can control. 3, learn to let go of wanting or needing a certain outcome. That's what creates so much fear and worry and anxiety. If you can do those 3 things, I promise you will start to see that your anxiety, your worry, it will start to decline. Do your part, leave the rest to him, control what you can control. You are not helpless. You are not a victim. Unplug from the lies and take your power back. Let's get to the other side together.